Hello guys, welcome to the channel Clinical Medicine. I'm Dr. Pratibha, and in this video we will discuss about basics of ECG recording and axis deviation. So let's begin. And what is the axis? Axis is the direction of overall electrical activity of heart. So if this is a heart, the impulse generated by the SA node, it goes to 4 different directions, right? Goes to the right atrium, left atrium, the right ventricle and the left ventricle. Okay, so then what will be the direction of overall electrical activity? Well, in a normal heart, because left ventricle is the thickest chamber, maximum electrical potential is directed towards left ventricle, and that's why the mean electrical axis of the heart is directed towards left ventricle. Okay, now if suppose I take 2 lines and divide the heart into 4 quadrants. So this is the right upper quadrant, right lower quadrant, left upper quadrant, left lower quadrant. So in a normal heart, the normal axis lies in the left lower quadrant. Okay, but in some pathological conditions, for example in right ventricular hypertrophy, the electric potential generated by the right ventricle will increase, and so the right ventricle will pull this axis towards right side. Okay, so when this happens, the electrical axis is shifted in the right lower quadrant, and this is called as right axis deviation. Similarly, sometimes the left ventricle undergoes too much hypertrophy, for example secondary to systemic hypertension. So in that case what happens, this electrical axis, it shifts more leftward and upward. It comes here. So this is called as left axis deviation. Now we understood about the right axis deviation. This is the left axis deviation. What about this? So sometimes the axis can lie in right upper quadrant, and when axis lies here, it is usually seen in ventricular tachycardia. In ventricular tachycardia, the axis lies in this quadrant, and this is called as extreme axis deviation. More important for us to understand is the right axis deviation and the left axis deviation. So I hope we are clear with the basic terminologies of axis deviation, and let's now learn about the lead placement and how with different lead placement the QRS morphology changes. We'll learn the basic of it. So again, this is our heart, and with the help of 2 lines I have divided it into 4 quadrants. Okay, now by convention this is 0 degree and this is 180 degrees. Okay, this is minus 90 and this is plus 90. Now this is minus 30 degrees, this is minus 60, minus 90, minus 120, minus 150. This is plus 30, plus 60, plus 90, plus 120, plus 150. So what are we doing? We are actually dividing the anterior surface of the heart into small quadrants, 30-degree quadrants, and we will be putting leads at different angles. Leads are like cameras which can capture heart from different angles. So let's see. We know that there are 2 types of leads. We know that for recording ECG we use 12 leads. Okay, 6 leads are called as limb leads and 6 are called as precordial leads. Which are the limb leads? The limb leads are lead 1, 2, 3, lead AVR, AVL and AVF. Which are the precordial leads? V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6. Okay, now which leads do we need to determine axis deviation? Which leads do we look at to understand axis deviation? We look at limb leads. So these are the important leads. 1, 2, 3, AVR, AVL and AVF. These leads will help us determine the axis. Okay. Another thing, there are 3 waves in ECG. P wave, the QRS complex and the T wave. Which wave do we look at? We look at the QRS complex. It helps us determine the axis. So we will look at the QRS complex in which leads? Lead 1, 2, 3, AVR, AVL, AVF. Okay. And now let's understand how they are kept on the heart, which angles do they capture, and then we will learn about how what determines the QRS morphology in these leads. First, let's just simply understand lead placement. Okay. So now every lead has a positive pole and a negative pole. Okay. Lead are like electrode and every lead has a positive pole and a negative pole. Okay. We have to remember the positive pole and automatically we can remember the negative pole, because if this is 100 then this will be 80. Okay. If the positive pole is at 8, suppose if the positive pole is at 90 degrees, the negative pole will be at minus 90 degrees. Okay, because they are horizontal. If this pole is at 160, this pole will be at 120. Okay, so if we remember the positive pole, we will automatically remember the negative pole. Okay, so the positive pole of lead 1 is placed at 0 degree. Here is 0 degree and here is the positive pole of lead 1. Where will be the negative pole? The negative pole will be at 180. Positive pole of lead 2 is kept at plus 60. Where is the negative pole kept? It is kept at minus 120. Okay. Where is the positive pole of lead 3? It is at plus 120. Okay. So here is plus 120. So lead 3 positive pole is kept at plus 120. So where will be the negative pole? It will be here. So we know 1, 2, 3. 1 is kept at, the positive pole of 1 is kept at 0 degree. The positive pole of lead 2 is at 60 and lead 3 is at 120. Now what about the augmented limb leads? Positive pole of AVR is kept at minus 150. Here is the positive pole. So where will be the negative pole? The negative pole is at plus 30. Okay. Where is the positive pole of AVR? We have learned. Okay. The positive pole of AVL here at minus 30. Here is the positive pole of AVL. Okay. So where is the negative pole? Here. And what about AVF? Positive pole is here at plus 90 and negative pole is at minus 90. Okay. So if we want to just remember the positive poles, because that is what is more important, okay, to remember the positive pole. So lead 3 is at 120, lead 2 is at 60, lead 1 is at 0, right? Lead AVL is at minus 30, lead AVR is at minus 150 and lead AVF is at plus 90. Okay. Now this is the basic of lead placement. Now let's learn the 3 important principles of ECG recording. Okay. So if this is an action potential that is moving and I want to record this action potential. Okay. So let's look at the other way around. Our lead 1 was at, positive pole was here at 0 degrees and negative pole was here. This is lead 1. Okay. Now any potential, action potential that is moving towards lead 1 will record a positive deflection. any action potential which is moving away from the positive pole of lead 1, lead 1 will show a negative deflection. Okay, and what if the action potential is moving perpendicular to it? It will record an isoelectric complex where the positive deflection is equal to negative deflection. Suppose this is a QRS complex. Okay, so when R is greater than S, it is called as a positive complex. When R is smaller than S, it is called as a negative complex. And when R is equal to S, it is called as an isoelectric complex. So if an electrical activity is moving towards the positive pole of a lead, the lead shows a positive deflection. If it is moving away from the positive pole, it will show a negative deflection. And if it is moving perpendicular to the lead, here is our lead, this is our lead, and the wave is going perpendicular to it, so then the lead will record an isoelectric complex. Okay, now it is not necessary that the wave will only move either towards, away, or perpendicular to it, right? The wave can be anywhere, the wave can be here also. Then what will the lead 1 record? So now as the wave moves away from the lead, at this position A, lead 1 will show a completely positive QRS complex. Now as the wave is moving away, at position B, what will happen? A small negative complex will occur. At C, the negative component will start to increase as the wave moves away from the axis of the lead. At position D, see, slowly and steadily, as the wave is moving away from the lead is showing a negative deflection, and finally when the wave comes perpendicular to it, there is an isoelectric complex where R is equal to S. Now if the wave goes beyond 90 degrees from the lead, this is the axis of the lead, right? If the wave goes beyond, this is the electrical axis, this is the axis of the lead. If the wave is going beyond 90 degrees, then suppose this is position F. Now the negative deflection will be larger than the positive deflection, so this will be the start of a negative complex. Now as it goes more further away, the negative complex will deepen, and at this position, suppose this is M, the positive wave will disappear and it will be a completely negative wave. So we now understand that how, as the wave moves away from the positive pole of the lead, the negative component increases in height, and finally the complex becomes completely negative. So this is a very important concept, and let's look at it from another point of view. Now we will understand the same concept with the example of a different lead. So we are again making the same diagram. Now tell me which lead is here. Here is lead 2. Which lead is here? Here is lead 3. Here is AVF, right? This is plus 90, this is minus 90, this is plus 30, this is plus 60, this is plus 150, this is 180, this is minus 150, minus 120, minus 60 minus 30. So tell me, here is lead 3, here is lead 2, here is lead AVF, here is lead 1, here is lead AVL. Why am I drawing this again and again? Because I want you to remember, by the end of this video I want you to be able to imagine the lead placement, because that is very important when you are when you're trying to learn axis deviation. Memorizing this, having a mental picture of this is very important, and that's why I'm focusing a lot on this. So, and this is, here is AVR. Now let's choose one lead. Which lead we will choose? Suppose we are choosing lead 3. Okay, this is the axis of our lead 3. Okay, and now where is our electrical axis lying? Suppose that the electrical axis is here. The electrical wave is going over here. The electrical axis, the electrical activity of the heart is directed in this direction. Okay, now what will lead 1 show? Lead 1 will show a completely positive complex because the electrical wave is moving towards it. Okay, what will lead AVF show? This wave is perpendicular to lead AVF, so AVF will show a isoelectric complex. What will lead 3 show? Now see, this is 30, this is 30, this is 30. Okay, now this wave is beyond 90 degrees of lead 3, right? So lead 3 will show a small positive but a larger negative component. So lead 3 will be show a negative complex. Okay, what will lead AVL show? Here is lead AVL and here is the electrical axis, so it will show a predominantly positive complex because it is nearer. Okay, what will lead 2 show? Lead 2 will show a positive complex and a slight negative complex, right? This is our lead 2 and this is the electrical axis going. Okay, so it will show a positive complex and a slight negative complex. So I hope that now you understand that the QRS, whether the QRS is positive, whether the QRS is isoelectric, or whether the QRS is predominantly negative, it depends on the relationship between the lead axis and the electrical axis. Okay, it depends on that. For example, let's erase that so that we don't have to. Let's just go back. Now suppose we know that when the axis is lying in this quadrant, it is called as right axis deviation. Now what will lead 3 show? Here is the electrical axis. Lead 3 will show completely positive complex. What about lead AVF? Here is lead AVF. This is the axis of lead AVF. Lead AVF will also show a positive and a slight negative component. What about lead 2? Lead 2 will also show a positive complex and a slight negative deflection. Okay, what about AVR? Now see, it is making 90-degree angle, so it is perpendicular. The wave is going perpendicular to the axis of lead AVR, so AVR will show a isoelectric complex. Okay, now what about lead 1? What will lead 1 show? When there is right axis deviation, what will lead 1 show? Now see, it is 90 degree away. The electrical axis is 90 degrees away from lead 1. Here is the axis of lead 1 and this is the wave. It is forming an obtuse angle with the lead 1. So lead 1 will show a predominantly negative complex. Okay, what will AVL show? Same, AVL will also show a predominantly negative complex. So I hope that we are clear with the basic of how QRS morphology changes and how it can help us in diagnosing. So we now understand that normal electrical axis of the heart is at plus 60 degree. Some books say that plus 59 degrees, but it's almost similar. But it cannot be the same for every individual. There has to be a range. Okay, so the range of normal electrical axis is from minus 30 to plus 90. So between this area, this wherever, if the electrical axis lies here or here or here, it is a normal axis. ठीक है, when the electrical axis lies between minus 30 to plus 90, it is a normal axis. Okay, when the axis of the heart lies between plus 90 to 180, from here to here, this is called as right axis deviation. Okay, when the axis is lying from minus 30 to minus 90, in this region, this is called as left axis deviation. And when it is lying between minus 90 to 180, this is called as extreme axis deviation. Okay, now we will learn a shortcut of diagnosing axis deviation within seconds. This is the same, he is the axis man, and he is showing that his left hand at minus 130 degree has AVL. At 0 degrees, lead 1. At left foot, lead 2. At plus 60, right foot, lead 3 at plus 120, and right hand AVR at minus 150. So he is the axis man. Okay, so yeah, we come to the shortcut. So sometimes it's difficult to look at 6 leads, so just by looking at lead 1 and AVF, you can tell whether there is a right axis, left axis, or a normal axis. Okay, so we know that when the electrical axis is in left lower quadrant, it is normal axis, right? When there is normal axis, here is lead 1. So what will lead 1 show? It will show a positive complex. What about lead AVF? It will also show a positive complex. Okay, when the axis is in left upper quadrant beyond minus 30, that is called as left axis deviation. Now what will happen in left axis deviation? Lead 1 is here. Okay, so the wave is within 90 degrees, right? So lead 1 will show a positive complex. Now what about lead AVF? Look at here is the axis of lead AVF, and the electrical axis is forming an obtuse angle. It is beyond 90 degrees of lead AVF. So AVF will show a predominantly negative complex. Okay, when the axis is lying here, this is the right lower quadrant. Okay, so this is right axis deviation. What will happen in right axis deviation? Here is AVF. So the wave is nearer to AVF, so AVF will be positive, but it is far away from lead 1. It is beyond 90 degrees from lead 1, far away from lead 1. So what will lead 1 show? It will show a negative complex. So in right axis deviation, lead 1 is negative, AVF is positive. In left axis deviation, lead 1 is positive and lead AVF is negative. Okay, so now you can visualize, right, that in left axis deviation, the axis is nearer to lead 1, so lead 1 is positive, and away from lead AVF, so AVF is negative. In right axis deviation, the axis is nearer to AVF, so AVF is positive, and it is far away from positive pole of lead 1, so lead 1 is negative. Now in extreme axis deviation, here is lead 1 and here is AVF. Okay, the axis is away from both lead 1 and lead AVF. This is beyond 90 degrees from lead AVF, and also beyond 90 degrees of lead 1. So here both will be zero, or both will be negative, sorry, both will be negative. So this will be extreme axis deviation. Let's solve some questions. Let's apply the shortcut. So lead 1 is negative and lead AVF is positive. So that means that axis is away from lead 1 and nearer to lead AVF. So this is a right axis deviation, away from lead 1 and nearer to lead AVF. So this is right axis deviation. Okay. Here it is positive in lead 1. So the wave is nearer to lead 1 and AVF is negative, but 90 degrees, definitely 90 degrees away from lead AVF. So somewhere here. So this is left axis deviation. Okay. Let's look here. Okay, we understood one point, that whenever a lead shows isoelectric complex, okay, whenever a lead is showing isoelectric complex, the electrical axis is going perpendicular to it, right? We learned that if suppose this lead is showing an isoelectric complex, so that means that the electrical axis is going either perpendicular to it, either towards minus 90 or plus 90. We learned this thing. Now let's see in this ECG which lead is showing isoelectric complex. Lead 2, right? Here R is equal to S. This is isoelectric complex. Where is the lead 2? Lead 2 is here. Okay. So lead 2 is showing isoelectric complex. That means where is our electrical axis? Must be perpendicular to it. So must be either towards minus 30 or plus 150. But now how do we know whether it is minus 30 degree or plus 150 degree? For that, let's look at AVL. Where is AVL? AVL is negative. Now AVL is negative. Okay. Here is AVL. AVL is negative. That means that the wave is going away from AVL. We learned in the principles of ECG recording that whenever wave is going away from the positive pole of lead, it will record a negative deflection. AVL is showing a negative deflection. That means that the electrical wave is going away from AVL. So the axis is plus 150. This is what? This is right axis deviation. Okay. So this is called as isoelectric method of axis determination. Okay, this is isoelectric method of axis determination. Let's solve it by the previous way. Let's apply our shortcut looking at 1 and AVF. We know that in right axis deviation what will happen? The axis is closer to AVF. So AVF will be positive and 1 will be negative. Look at 1. 1 is negative. AVF is positive. So this is right axis deviation. So we can solve the question by either way. Now look here, 1 is negative and AVF is negative. So here the axis is lying in right upper quadrant. This is VT. This is an ECG of VT with extreme axis deviation. Lead 1 is here, right? It is away from lead 1 as well as lead AVF. Okay, so both are showing negative complex. Let's solve this ECG. Which lead is showing? Let's solve it by both the examples. Now let's solve by the quadrant method. Let's look at 1 and AVF. That is also called as quadrant method of determining axis. So lead 1 is positive and lead AVF is negative. So this is right. This is left axis deviation. Now let's solve it by isoelectric method. Which lead is showing? We only have to look at lead 1, 2, 3, AVR, AVL and AVF, right? Now we can see that AVR is showing isoelectric complex. Where is our AVR lead? It is here. Okay. So AVR is showing isoelectric complex. That means that the electrical axis is perpendicular to it. So it could be either towards 120 or minus 60 degrees. So now how do we understand whether it is plus 120 or minus 160? This is the axis of lead 3. Let's look at lead 3. Lead 3 is showing a negative complex. Okay, lead 3 is showing negative complex. That means here is lead 3. That means that the electrical axis is going towards minus 60, right? Because we know when the wave is going away from the lead will record a negative complex. Here is the positive pole of lead 3, right? And it is showing a negative complex. That means that the wave is going here. So the electrical axis here is minus 60 degree, which is left axis deviation. Okay, we found the same answer even by applying the shortcut of looking at 1 and AVF. Okay, so thank you, and I hope that I was able to explain you the basic maths of ECG, and I hope that this video was useful, and if you like it, then please share it and subscribe and share it with your friends, and take care, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.